I think we have started with this concept of phase cells in the last lecture, right? I'll just in short go through it again and then we'll proceed further. So we have said that there is a concept of phase space where we are considering that our particles have 6 degrees of freedom, 3 for the position and 3 for the momentum. So the location of the particle is always given with 6 coordinates, 3 coordinates for its position and 3 coordinates for its momentum. And then we say that the smallest volume, phase cell volume. Now this volume is not in the usual form as a meter cube. Okay. So the smallest volume in this phase space within which a particle can exist at any given time is a phase cell. That itself means a phase cell will have one microstates which is available for any particle. Okay. So in one cell there will be only one particle state. Now in quantum mechanics, we know that the measurement of position and measurement of momentum, the accuracy in the measurement of these two is dependent. We cannot measure the position and momentum both very accurately without considering what is the accuracy in the other. And that accuracy is given roughly as delta Q into delta P should be equal to H, that is the Planck's constant. And so H can be considered as volume of a two-dimensional phase cell. Now what is two-dimensional? In this two-dimensional, we consider that it is one position vector, one position coordinate and one momentum coordinate. So if you are talking about one-dimensional position and one-dimensional momentum for the moment of a particle, then the smallest phase cell will have a volume of H, which is nothing but two-dimensional volume of a phase cell. Okay, and if we go to 2f dimensional phase space, volume of a phase cell will be then H raised to f. For example, when we consider 3 coordinates for position x, y, z. So 3-dimensional position coordinate and 3-dimensional momentum coordinate, that is px, py, pz. Our phase space will be 6-dimensional. So this 2f will become 6. And in that case, the volume of phase cell will become h raised to 3. So here it will be delta qx, delta px should be equal to approximately h. That means the accuracy in the measurement of position along x-axis, and delta px is the accuracy in the measurement of momentum along x-axis, and that is product is h. Similarly, product of that along y-axis is h, and that along z-axis is also h. And so the total volume of the phase cell in 6-dimensional phase space will be h raised to 3. Okay, so this much we had already seen last time. I just repeated that. Now let's come to the next part. Now let a particle is observed in a phase space, and let at an instant it is found with position coordinates in the range x and x plus dx, y and y plus dy, z and z plus dz. What does this mean? That is, when we are actually detecting this particle, observing this particle, we cannot say that it's exactly observed at a position with position coordinates x, y, z. But we can say that it is anywhere within this particular range of x coordinate, this particular range of y coordinate, and this particular range of z coordinate. Okay. And then we will say that at the same time, we have to also give its momentum coordinates. So when the position coordinates had the range of x to x plus dx, y to y plus dy, z to z plus dz, their corresponding momentum coordinates will be in the range of px to px plus dpx, py to py plus dpy, pz to pz plus dpz. Okay, that means at a given instant, the particle is located in a phase volume of dq bar dq p. Okay, we cannot say that the particle at a given time is located at one specific place, but it can be anywhere in the volume within that phase space, which is given by this particular equation, that is dq bar dq p. So dq bar dq p will be dx dy dz into dpx dpy dpz. Okay, now the ranges delta the ranges dqi, suffix I, this I is 1, 2, 3, which corresponds to x, y, z respectively. And dpi in the same way, I equal to 1, 2, 3 corresponds to x, y, z respectively, are small enough so that energy of the particle remains the same. That means within this phase volume d cube r d cube p, the particle will have same energy. Okay, that means it is possible that within this volume there are number of microstates associated with a given macro state. So anywhere within this volume the particle shifts, its energy is not going to change. But at the same time, we can say that these ranges are big enough to contain large number of 6-dimensional phase cells. Now each phase cell is a microstate. So this particular phase volume, that is d cube r d cube p, can contain large number of microstates, but it is so small that it cannot contain more than one macrostate. That means particle can be anywhere in this particular phase volume and it will still have same energy, but it can have different configuration when it changes its place within this volume. Okay. Now, the number of phase cells within the phase volume in which the particle is located can be given then as n rp, where r is the position with the range as x to x plus dx, y to y plus dy, z to z plus dz, and p again with the range, that is px to px plus dpx, py to py plus dpy, pz to pz plus dpz, and that number of phase cells, that is nothing but that number of microstates, will be then given as the total volume, phase volume, okay, which depends on the range of position coordinates and range of momentum coordinates, divided by h cube, because h cube is the volume of a phase cell in the 6-dimensional phase space. Is this much clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, one question.
Yes.
When you said that the region was big enough to contain a number of 6-dimensional phase cells, but small enough to, like, not be a different macro state altogether, can we say that it's in degenerate states, all of these?
Okay, I'll come to this particular point where we are talking about degenerate states or non-degenerate states. Okay, if a state is degenerate, there will be number of configurations, that is number of microstates available for the particle, right?
Yes.
If the state is non-degenerate, it is only one specific microstate, okay, where particle can have that specific energy. So as the degeneracy of a particular energy state is larger, that means the number of quantum states in which the particle can take place in, keeping its energy same, is more. And so the uncertainty in locating it when it has that much energy is larger. And that itself means that the volume d cube r d cube p, phase volume or phase space volume d cube r d cube p associated with that much energy will be larger. If the degeneracy of a particular energy level is less, the number of microstates in which the particle can take place in for that much energy will be less, and that means the uncertainty in locating the particle with that energy is less. That means d cube r d cube p corresponding to that energy will be less, and that will give us less number of phase cells, that is n. If a particular energy level is non-degenerate, that means there is only one microstate or quantum state available for the particle to have that much energy. And so uncertainty in locating the particle is minimum. Now this minimum uncertainty, that means d cube r d cube p, the phase volume giving that much energy, is going to be minimum. This minimum value is then decided by the uncertainty principle. So when a particular energy is non-degenerate, the phase volume within which the particle can exist with that particular energy will have a minimum value, and that will be equal to h cube. And so the number of phase cells in which the particle can exist with that much energy will be just equal to 1.
Ma'am,
Thank you,
so
ma'am.
that n r comma p is not the degeneracy of that macro state.
It will show you the number of phase cells in that particular phase volume.
But it's not
Huh.
degeneracy, right?
If this particular number of phase cells is there within this particular volume, and if we are saying that this within this volume, see here we have written here that particle is located in this particular volume in such a way that the energy of the particle remains the same. If the energy of the particle is same, that means it is going to remain in the same macro state. And within that, if there are so many phase cells, means these all phase cells are the microstates associated with this particular macro state. And so the number of phase cells associated with a particular energy indicates the degeneracy of that particular energy level. Okay. Okay, so now let's see the next part then. Now we want to derive some equation. So we want to derive an expression for number of states accessible to a spin zero particle in an enclosure of volume V when momentum of the particle is between P and P plus dP. Okay, now what do you understand by here? We want to derive an expression for number of states accessible to a spin zero particle. When it is a spin zero particle, how many possible states it can have? One. So particle is only in one state. There is no up and down possible. It's just one particular particle state. Okay. So the number of states accessible to this particular particle in an enclosure of volume V. So total volume, maybe it is in a box and that box volume is V. And the momentum of the particle is changing between P and P plus dP. Now we are told about the range of momentum. Okay. And volume V decides the range over which its coordinates can change. We have already derived the equation in earlier lecture for phi E. Now what does phi E give us? Phi E tells us how many states which are accessible to a particle up to energy E. That is from minimum possible energy to energy equal to E. How many states are accessible to the particle? And that equation we have already derived as 4 pi by 3 L by H cube 2m e raised to 3 by 2. Okay. Now we want to use this equation for momentum of the particle. So we have to express this particular equation in the form of momentum. To express this in the form of momentum, we now write equation for energy in terms of momentum. So then this, we know that 2m is equal to p square. So if you want to write phi p, we'll have to write here, okay, p square raised to 3 by 2. So it will become p cube. Okay. Now this is the number of states which are accessible to the particle when its momentum is anywhere up to p. Okay. Now what we are asked to find out? The expression for number of states accessible to this particle within this enclosure when momentum is changing from here to here. So we want to find it only within the range p to p plus dp. And what we are getting here is, yes?
This 2m equal to p square came only because this is a non-interactive, the molecules are, there is no interaction between.
Right. This is
if there is
energy
otherwise,
of,
there
no,
will
otherwise,
be
yeah,
potential
that will be
energy.
different case. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here this is only because we are talking about non-interacting particles. Okay. So this is the number of states accessible to the particles having momentum anywhere from minimum value to p. Okay. Now we want to find out what is the number of microstates when the momentum of the particle is changing from p to p plus delta p. Right. And so the equation for that we have written that notation is omega p. And we have seen that omega p is d phi p upon dp into delta p. Right? You remember this? And this then can be written as, we have equation for phi p here. Take the derivative of this with respect to t. So we get this as 4 pi by h cube v into p square delta p. Okay. And we have already seen that this omega p can be written as rho p delta p, where this rho p is the density of states, that is nothing but number of microstates in unit interval of momentum around p. Okay. Rho p is the density of states, that is the number of microstates accessible to the particle in unit interval of momentum around p. And so this rho p dp, okay, will be then 4 pi v upon h cube p square dp. 4 pi v upon h cube p square dp. Okay. So here what we are getting is the distribution of the states with respect to momentum. Now let us consider this same thing in another way. What is that another way? Here, omega p is a number of phase cells in a 6-dimensional phase space where momentum changes in the range p to p plus dp. Now I am connecting this to this. Omega p is a number of microstates, okay, which are accessible to the particle when its momentum is changing from p to p plus dp. But each microstate is associated with a phase cell. And so I can say that this is nothing but number of phase cells in a 6-dimensional phase space where momentum of the particle is changing between p to p plus dp. Okay, so now this omega p is rho p dp. In the phase space, particle position is changing in the range dqi and momentum is changing in the range dpi, where I can go from 1 to 3 and that 1 to 3 corresponds to x, y, z respectively. Okay, so now each phase cell of phase volume h cube, we are in the 6-dimensional phase space, so the volume of a phase cell is h cube and this volume will contain 1 microstate. So this rho p dp, which is the number of microstates in the volume of phase space with momentum between p and p plus dp, will be nothing but volume of phase space between p and p plus dp divided by volume of a phase cell. Is this much clear? Then I'll go to the equation further. Okay, now this volume of phase space between the momentum changing from p to p plus dp can be written as integral over dx dy dz, that is as we saw earlier d cube r d cube p. Okay, so integral over dx dy dz and integral over dpx dpy dpz. The value of integral dx dy dz is already given to us. We are told that here it is that the particle is in an enclosure of volume v, and so we are already given the integral of dx dy dz and that is equal to v. So this v upon h cube I have taken out, and now we have to look at what is the integral dpx dpy dpz. So now we are talking about the volume which is controlled by the values of dpx dpy dpz. That is about this value, that is on the surface of a sphere with momentum p. Clear? So we are already on the surface of the momentum of the sphere with momentum p. Okay, and about that now there is range dpx dpy dpz. So you are getting a cover, okay, on the surface of the sphere which has a radius equal to the momentum p. Okay, now on this sphere, if you consider the thickness along all the 3 directions, we are given the range. So if you consider the thickness of this, that thickness is considering the ranges in the momentum in all the 3 coordinates. So all the phase space within this volume, okay, are to be considered for the microstates which are within the range of momentum from p to p plus dp. Here there is a question asked by one student. Why the dx dy dz and dpx dpy dpz are independent of each other and do not relate with each other with respect to uncertainty principle. In this particular case, dx dy dz and dpx dpy dpz are the ranges of the position and momentum coordinates of the particle over which we can detect the particle. That means over which we have to determine the microstates accessible to the particle. These are not minimum uncertainties in the measurements of the position and momentum coordinates. Rho p dp then is v upon h cube 4 pi p square dp. What we had obtained here is also the same equation. Okay. Now p square is 2me and so 2p dp is 2m de. So we can write dp as m dE upon root 2me. So this equation rho p dp, which we have written in terms of momentum, now we can write in terms of energy as v upon h cube 4 pi 2me m dE upon root 2me, which is nothing but v upon h cube 2 pi 2m raised to 3 by 2 e raised to half d. Is this equation clear? So what we have shown is this gives us the distribution in terms of momentum and this gives us distribution in terms of energy. Okay, Here we have assumed spin 0 particle. In general, we can write this equation as 2 pi nu into v by h cube 2m raised to 3 by 2 e raised to half d. What is this nu? This nu is nothing but 2s plus 1, which is nothing but number of particle states. So if you have a spin half particle, with every energy, particle can be in up state as well as down state. So there will be double number of states as compared to what we have written over here. So nu will become 2 if S is half. As S changes, this nu will change. That means in every energy level, particle can have its own number of states which depends on the spin of the particle. Is this much clear to everyone? So today we'll stop over here. In the next lecture, we'll talk about thermal and adiabatic interactions between the systems. Thank you.